They all just feel that they have to say these things.
With
Is that a fucking word?
where the harassment was so bad that I called a crisis line.
Lies about January 6th, which have been relentless, have enabled some of the most unscrupulous...
Yeah, Tucker, they were relentless, weren't they?
But the court document embarrassed him, revealing him to apparently not actually like Donald Trump at all.
Why are Fox News and Tucker Carlson parting ways? Okay, let's do Channel 4.
And welcome to Tucker Carlson tonight.
You might not know him, but every day, more than 3 million Americans tuned in to hear Tucker Carlson's MAGA monologues, a mouthpiece for Donald Trump politics.
Lies about January 6th.
Actually, you know what? I'm not watching an English clip. Let's find an American news clip, because they have to talk down to you like you don't know who Tucker Carlson is, because a lot of people watching probably don't, because they're not gigantic political nerds like me, who, right, they spend all the time on Twitter. So Tucker Carlson's a man on a channel that they have over there. It's called Fox News. You've probably never heard of it. So yeah, well, let's watch one of the American news channels doing it. Okay, let's start with let's start with this, and then we'll go on the fourth one.
And we'll be back on Monday. In the meantime,
Tucker Carlson signed off Friday on what we now know was his last show on Fox News. The network announcing it is severing ties with its most popular host.
You know when captions are on and you swear down you never pressed it? Like, I'm convinced this is a thing, right? This has happened multiple times to me now, where I turn a video on and captions are on. Now, I do have fat hands, and it is possible I'm just pressing spacebar to and nudging the C, but I swear down YouTube is turning captures on against to just wind me up.
Without explanation in a statement Monday. Fox News Media and Tucker Carlson have agreed to part ways. Carlson anchored the network's highly rated 8 p.m. hour that topped 3 million viewers on an average night. During last night's show, the network acknowledging Carlson's exit.
I wish Tucker the best. I'm great friends with Tucker and always will be.
Carlson's departure comes less than a week after Fox News paid Dominion Voting Systems a $787.5 million settlement in a defamation lawsuit. Private texts and emails from Carlson emerged during the lawsuit, including messages from the Star anchor criticizing Fox executives, disparaging former President Donald Trump, and expressing doubts about some on-air claims about Dominion.
Yeah, some of those, I think we'll... I think they'll probably be covered in the Forbes one, but if not, we'll go over them next. That was like a shambles. When that was released, it made you realise they all just feel that they have to say these things, because you kind of get yourself into a position at Fox News, and in any of these scenarios, almost like a politician, where you've been saying all this stuff, you have to keep promoting this ideology, right? And once you've already decided, well, we're kind of we're going to manipulate people, but we're essentially going to just tell them what they want to hear. Right, or whatever we think will make them angriest. And so it kind of gets to a stage where actually they don't want to hear you tell them. You always tell them what they want to hear. They don't want to hear you tell them Trump lost the election. They don't want to hear you tell them that he's lying and he's a liar and everything's rigged, especially when you just spent the last 4 years, right, lying for him, saying he's great, having him on, saying he's the best president, promoting him, saying all of this. Oh no, now he's lying about this, he's lying about that. It's very difficult to then turn round when so many conservatives are just waiting for you to tell them what they want to hear, and you spent so long denying all of Trump's lies. It's kind of like, well, what's one more lie? And I mean, I just feel like that's much worse. If somebody has stupid beliefs because that's what they really believe, or somebody like spreads unpleasantness because like they genuinely believe this stuff, they really believe this, that's bad. But when they know it's rubbish, they know they're lying. It's not even like they're telling themselves that they believe it. They bloody know. It's it's just kind of a disgrace. That's just so much worse.
That were made on Fox. Neither the network nor Carlson have revealed why he is leaving. The popular host is also being sued by former Fox producer Abby Grossberg, who accuses both Carlson and Fox News of creating a hostile work environment, speaking exclusively to NBC News.
I reached a breaking point where the harassment was so bad that I called a crisis line.
In a statement, the network called the claims unmeritorious and riddled with...
Is that a fucking word?
...false allegations. In an equally shocking announcement Monday...
Don Lemon and CNN have parted ways.
The news coming out after Lemon's Monday morning show.
So good morning, everyone. Welcome in.
CEO Chris Licht thanked Lemon, sending this memo to his employees. Don will forever be a part of the CNN family. Lemon took to Twitter with his reaction, saying he was stunned at the termination, writing in part, "I would have thought that someone in management would have had the decency to tell me directly." CNN denies the claim that management didn't offer him an opportunity for a meeting. Lemon's departure just 2 months after his controversial comments.
I hate these things because you never really know who's telling the truth or not. I don't think either of them are going to let it get to the stage where we're leaking emails. Maybe they will. It just seems weird to fire him for no reason, completely randomly. It just seems strange when the guy was one of the biggest hosts. It makes you think it's something else going on behind the scenes. Like, has he done something? Has someone said something? Did the management just dislike him? Right? Who knows?
About
the Lemon one's harder because with Carlson we kind of know what he did. We kind of know what sort of person is, and it's kind of funny.
Nikki isn't in her prime. Sorry, when a woman is considered to be in her prime in her 20s and 30s, and maybe 40.
This morning, Lemon's former co-anchor.
Oh yeah, Clog. I did actually read in the paper that he'd said that, and I'd forgotten. What a thing to say. That's some red pill shit coming out now. I mean, to be fair, I think red pillers say shoots the wall at 30 and becomes disgusting by 40. But still, like that's a weird red pill. Yeah, a woman's on the prime at 50. What? Like what? Besides, you're talking about a politician as well. Like a lot of that's because people sexualize women to the point where they're just like, oh, well, you know, and then obsess over youth. She no longer looks youthful. But like, we're talking about somebody being a politician. Like, you know, something like being a politician or being president. I'm not a Nikki Haley fan either, by the way. I just think that that's insane for someone on the news to be saying. Unlike CNN, again, you expect it from Fox.
Reacting to the news.
Don was a big part of this show. We wish him the best.
NBC News parent company NBC Universal also dealing with a sudden exit. CEO Jeff Shell leaving his role after a company investigation into allegations of inappropriate conduct. In a statement, Shell...
Okay, I don't really care about this. So, now we've done the ones we're interested in. Legal talking about Fox News is screwed. I may cover that, but I don't know enough about US law. So, it's kind of interesting. Well, if that's the case, then yes. I don't think I know enough about English law. I'm not a lawyer. I know like a little bit. I know like a little bit more, but like I'd have trouble following UK law. Hawk. Law Hawk, the UK version. Right. You know what I mean? I think I'd be like, oh, it'd be the same thing. It'd be super interesting, but it'd be like, yes. Yeah, probably. I mean, if that's true, these people must be right, I assume. So, I might leave that for another time. Oh, here we go. Possible Rolex producer fired. We can look at this, but like, I feel like this is just people. They just get people on sometimes. I mean, maybe I'm prejudicing it, but you know, something's happened. We don't really know why. Oh, didn't you used to know him? Yeah, I knew him. Oh well, can you just come on and bloviate about why it must have happened? She did the Channel 4 one. Yeah, it looks like yes. It looks like yes, because I can't be bothered anymore.
Good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson.
To hear Tucker Carlson's MAGA monologues, a mouthpiece for Donald Trump politics.
Lies about January 6th, which have been relentless, have enabled some of the most unscrupulous...
Yeah, Tucker, they were relentless, weren't they? Fucking... Yeah, relentless lies. A lot of relentless lies. Weren't there? On January 6th. Yeah. Unfortunately, they were the ones that led to the insurrection. Right, and then a lot of other lies about it, like, it was Antifa invading and hiding in them. Actually, they were peaceful protesters. Actually, yeah, right. Loads of lies talked about it, loads of lies caused it. Absolutely, Tucker. You're right, inadvertently.
People in our country to make a mockery of our Bill of Rights and to steal our core freedoms.
It was all very different 20 years ago. Wearing a bow tie, Carlson appeared on more centrist channels like CNN and MSNBC. But even then, he was criticized for the way he dramatized and simplified politics. Carlson's transformation at Fox News into a conservative titan mirrors politics in the past decade. More
Fuck was that?
Good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson.
Oh my god, that's annoying.
Wearing a bow tie, Carlson appeared on more centrist channels like CNN and MSNBC. But even then, he was criticized for the way he dramatized and simplified politics. Carlson's transformation at Fox News into a conservative titan mirrors politics in the past decade. More extreme, more angry, more unwilling to find middle ground. A champion of Trump.
There's a speech somewhere. We may have a look for it later after this. But I'm not spending too long digging because it's boring and shit content. So so basically it was a while ago, it's like Carlson's there and he basically talks about how he's essentially a kind of free market libertarian, and he's like, yeah, but people won't vote for those policies, so you have to do the seriously, so sometimes you can't just put this kind of thing forward, you have to put conservative policies, you have to do culture war, you have to do all of this kind of stuff, and basically just like talks out his whole strategy. So if I can find that later we may look at it, but let's crack on.
Trump, with the 45th president out of the White House, Tucker in many ways became Trump channeled. Vaccine skeptic, pro-Russia, even hosting his show from Hungary as he praised the work of right-wing leader Viktor Orban.
He thinks families are more important than banks. He believes countries need borders. For saying these things out loud, Orban has been vilified.
Oh!
It was that.
I love how they do this. I love how conservatives do this. Just like, it's like somebody says crazy shit. So if people don't know, Orban said, Orban made it illegal, like a genuine crime, for a lawyer to advise any kind of any kind of refugee, any kind of anything like that. Like he's brought in mass draconian anti-press legislation. Like he's brought in to the point where there's a very, very funny clip of what's his name, Jean-Claude Juncker, where let's find that clip. Let's pause for a second and find that clip because it's funny. This is a great one. Let's have a little bit of fun. No, that's not what I asked for. Oh, God, I hate you. God damn it. Jean-Claude Juncker. Here comes the dictator. This is brilliant.
The dictator is coming. Dictator?
Not the usual greeting you would expect to hear at an EU get-together, but dictator was the word chosen by European Commission President.
Look!
The dictator is coming.
Fucking love Juncker. It's great.
Not the usual greeting you would expect to hear.
Oh God, that's such a good clip. That never gets old. How long? 7 years. 7 years, never gets old. Hi, the dictator is coming. Hello, dictator. But yeah, no, he was just concerned about borders.
A champion of Trump, with the
countries need borders. For saying these things out loud, Orban has been vilified.
It was that type of politics that drew much criticism from Democrats.
When you look at what Tucker Carlson and some of these other folks on Fox do, it is very, very clearly incitement of violence. Very clearly incitement of violence. And that is the line that I think we have to be willing to
yes, maybe. I don't know. Incitement to violence. I think incitement to violence has to be something like direct. I love AOC, but I can't agree with her here. She, if you're going to say incitement to violence, I think you have to be inciting direct. Like personally, I think you really should have to be inciting direct acts of violence. Like saying, okay, well, Carlson said, yes, storm the Capitol, we must. Whereas he's going, your lawmakers want you to, lose your right to free speech. If you just want to stand up and say you're concerned about immigration, you'll never be allowed to speak again. And that's awful. He's a liar, I'm glad he's not on Fox News anymore. I don't think it's going to make a difference. I'm sure he'll crop up somewhere spreading his poison. But yeah, I just, it's not incitement to violence. Like, I think we have to be careful sometimes. I think sometimes liberals and lefties can get a little... We have a tendency to exaggerate. Someone's very right-wing, we want to call them a fascist. Someone's, saying inflammatory stuff, we want to say they're inciting violence. I think I understand the temptation. I feel it myself. But I think we have to avoid it because it's not a good argument. It's not true and it doesn't look good.
Contend with.
The announcement that Carlson is now out of Fox comes under a week since the company settled its defamation case with Dominion Voting Systems for $787.5 million, with the network admitting to having made false statements that voting machines had rigged the 2020 election. The settlement stopped Carlson taking the stand, but the court documents embarrassed him, revealing him to apparently not actually like Donald Trump at all. He said in a text message to an associate, "We are very, very close to being able to ignore Trump most nights. I truly can't
I think
wait."
after this we'll cover all of them because some of them are
I
like
hate
crazy.
him passionately.
Mr. President, thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Yet Trump still appeared on Carlson after those...
Christ, you can kind of say, maybe I'm reading into this now that we know he hates him. Well, I'm sorry, I'll stop pause Andying in a minute. I know we're like in a 2-minute video and I'll spend about an hour pausing it. But look, you see it in his face.
Revealed, apparently no hard feelings.
Almost makes you
But
like,
there
you
will
know.
be hard feelings today.
Doesn't
Carlson
make me like
leaves the network with no final show.
Fox News Media and Tucker Carlson have mutually agreed to part ways.
Just an announcement read out on Fox today, a muted end to its brashest brand.
Looks like a robot, Jesus. No offense to her, I don't know who she is.
There are two key questions here, one about Fox News and its audience, and one about Fox News under Rupert Murdoch. On the audience, there are now other more conservative news channels out there that tailor themselves to the Trump agenda. Does Carlson's exit mean he might be moving to one of those channels? Or does it mean that Fox News is shaking up its presenting roster to try and appeal to that base? On Fox under Murdoch, the company has taken a hit. We had that defamation settlement last week. We saw their share price go down on the news today. What does Rupert Murdoch do next? Does he indeed double down to that Trump base? Or does he try to pivot? Because remember, Tucker Carlson's closest ally was Lachlan Murdoch. That's Rupert Murdoch's eldest son, who's more conservative and the heir apparent to the Trump empire. What does it mean for the future of Fox News if both Lachlan Murdoch and Tucker Carlson are now out of favour?
So many like rich
Essentially,
conservatives
this
have
next
weird names.
episode of Real Life Succession is only just beginning.
Yeah, so it seems to be a lot of it's because of those tweets, not tweets, sorry, of those like messages that they've been sending. So yeah, I mean, there's others like he called Sidney Powell a cunt and a bitch, which see this is like. Let's see if we can find the actual quotes because some of them are funny. Sorry, just got a Fanta. Where was it? Let's go. Oh, fuck you. No, I'm not a subscriber. Good day. Good fucking day. Okay. Yeah. It's just... Let's find the messages. I'm going to find the messages. Sorry, I should have done this beforehand. I think keyboards are about training. Yes. Come on. Come on. Come on. Yes, produce trove of forgotten messages. Let's find the messages. Show me the messages. Come on. I want to see him calling Sidney Powell a cunt. I don't approve. I'm not condoning that. I'm just saying. I'm saying, I want to see all the vicious shit. There's almost like a lot of stuff in there that you're like, do you know what? If Carlson wasn't sort of like evil person who would just sell his soul to the highest bidder and say anything and cause any damage, maybe he'd actually have like been a good journalist and done like decent news. He seems to realise these people are assholes. He just doesn't care because he wants money. Oh, come on. Those expletives. if they say those expletives, I'm just going to say cunts. Those cunts are destroying our credibility, and it enrages me, said Carlson. On November the 8th, Byron was declared the winner. Carlson texted, "Did these executives understand how much trust and credibility we lost for our audience? We're playing with fire for real." Others bring up Newsmax as an emerging competitor. Carlson said, "With Trump behind it, an alternative like Newsmax." Yeah, see, could be devastating to us. You see, this is the fucking problem. Like, yeah, all they care about is, well, it's good for us, we need to support Trump. Like, remember, initially, when Trump first started in the Republican primaries, Fox News actually opposed him still, right? Because they still ran under the assumption that, well, hold on, this guy, like, talks about grabbing women, he talks about calling John McCain not a hero. But bear in mind, and like, I've many criticisms of John McCain's time as a politician, but supporting every war ever proposed, ever. But, like, the fellow was offered release from the prisoner of war camp where they were torturing him, and he said, "No, I'm staying until my men are going to go," because his father was an admiral, so they could get him out. No, I'm sorry, right? For somebody like Trump, who would start crying and shitting his pants if somebody was even shooting near him, right, to say that was crazy. And everyone thought, well, oh, he's done, he's finished, everything he said. So Fox was attacking him then. But as soon as they realised, oh no, if we back him, all our base support him, well, we'll just say anything. We'll go, oh no, what have we done? A decent person would say, oh, well, even we think Trump's terrible. Then realise, wait, everything we've been saying has been leading to people voting for this guy. And then maybe they change their behaviour. But again, when you only care about making money, why the fuck would he do that? Oh, fucking hell. Oh, you know, you didn't realise how thirsty you were. In text messages, as to a producer in November the 13th, 2020, Carlson braced for a Trump press conference. He's only good at destroying, Carlson said of the then president. He's playing with, in regards to the fraud allegation, he's playing with fire. Yeah, that's like a mild one. Like, oh, you're playing with fire, because that could be like, he's playing with fire. Or it could be, oh, you're playing with fire, Donald. There's like a bit of it. Was that like? Isn't a slight issue reading text messages is that you just can't hear a tone of voice. In an exchange with an unknown person on July the 4th, 2021, Carlson experienced anger toward Trump. He said that we are very, very close to being able to ignore Trump most nights, and I truly cannot wait. There's a very small part of me that would love to believe that he couldn't wait to ignore Trump because there is within him a tiny little that could see that promoting Trump against even his own fairly skewed judgment was wrong. I don't think so. I think he just hated Trump, couldn't stand him. It was like, he's making me a lot of money. You know, it would be lovely, wouldn't it, though? It would be lovely if even in a man like Carlson, there's a core, there's a grain inside. You know, because it makes you think maybe it could be put out. Maybe it could be put out. It's more than just a grain. Maybe. I think it's extremely unlikely, and I can't see that happening. But it'd be a nice thing to believe, wouldn't it? Carlson said, I keep reading this by my own, sorry. Carlson said he had no doubt that there was fraud in the 2020 election, but Trump said. But said Trump and his lawyers had so discredited their case and media figures like themselves that it's infuriating. Wait, so he did think that there was fraud? Or is he, at this point, no, I don't even know if he's like, oh, Jesus, like a text shouldn't even exist if we're saying there's no fraud. Or did he really believe there was fraud? Addressing Trump's 4 years as president, Carlson said, "We're all pretending." I wish I could do an impression of Tucker Carlson. I can do some. I can do voices and I can do some impressions. When we're doing Reese Mogg earlier, I can do impressions. A lot of American accents are quite hard to do if you're English. I recently cracked Southern. I'm not going to do it because it's not good enough. But I recently cracked it last time I went to New Orleans. So you know, I can at least do that now with a run up, and I'm not doing streams. I'll sound like a dick. Okay. Anyway, we're all pretending we've got a lot to show for it because admitting what a disaster it has been is too tough to digest. But come on, there really isn't an upside to Trump. See, he fucking knows. People say media, I saw a Destiny debate some right-wing people recently and saying media, media don't like to really spin narratives, blah, 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 blah. That's all the thing. And don't get me wrong, the narrative they think it's spinning is insane because they think Tucker Carlson doesn't go far enough, and that really it's a terrible conspiracy and blah, blah, blah. But no, it's just that you have a job. Your job's to no longer to be an honest journalist bringing people the truth, but it's to be churning out content that sells. So you're essentially a content creator and you have to create content that sells. And if, like Carlson, you have no integrity, then, you'll just, then you'll lie. Trump's terrible. You'll say things are wrong. Are causing problems. You even hate Trump. Can't stand him. You've got someone there, you hate him, you think he's a disaster, you think he's destroying credibility, you think he's terrible, but, you're making money. So. In text early on the morning of January the 7th, 2021, after a violent assault on the US Capitol, Carlton and his longtime producer, Alex Pfeiffer, bemoaned how the rioters had believed Trump's election lies. They take the president literally, Pfeiffer would say. He's to blame for everything that's happened today. The problem's a little deeper than that, I'd say, Carlson replied. Obviously, the problems are deep, but at the core of it, Trump saying it was stolen, Pfeiffer wrote. Not at the core, Carlson said, awful, but a symptom. Later, right, I mean... Wait, I'm confused what he means here. It's not the core, but it's a symptom. Yeah. Anyway, I think he maybe kind of means like actually the core of the movement is just all the lies. But that's even worse then. If he means no, wait, the core of the movement is all the rubbish and the bullshit that they believe. But that's his fault. That's your fault. You do that for loads of money. Like it's you. I mean, not just him, but actually mainly him. He's one of the biggest ones. He's one of the biggest ones spreading this rubbish. So. He's a demonic force. Right, so Trump is a demonic force, a destroyer. Jesus Christ. He's not going to destroy us. Demonic force, a destroyer, but he's not going to destroy us. And I've been thinking about this every day for 4 years. Okay. So, it seems like he vehemently hates Trump. He thinks it's terrible. Like, sometimes surely at some point you have to take some kind of stand, right? Surely at some point you have to go, no, you know what? I'm going to come out and say it. There were people on Fox who did. There was, what are the names? I'm so bad with names. Shep Smith and the other guy, the glasses man. The one that spoke like this. Yes, I'm interviewing the president. Anyway, right. And, they were honest, like-ish. Like, at least they were honest. They were anti-Trump. They were openly doing it. Right. Now, I realise, but Carlson wouldn't have a job probably at Fox News. He'd probably be doing the same stuff he was doing on CNN for less money. But how much is your soul worth, really? How much is your soul worth, really? Ooh, yeah, here we're going to get some juicy shit. Heated vitriol was reserved for colleagues in the news division and included conversations with fellow on-air personalities Laura Ingraham and Sean Hannity. On November the 13th, the week after the 2020 election, Ingraham, Carlson and Hannity got into a text message exchange in which they lambasted the news division. It began with Ingraham pointing out a tweet by correspondent Brian Lennis. I'm assuming he's not Welsh and he's American, so I'm going to say Lennis, but Lennis, I think. He looks Welsh. Saying he had not seen no evidence of widespread voter fraud in Pennsylvania. Carlson replied that Lennis had contacted him to apologise, and then added, "When has he ever reported on anything?" Wait, so is he shitting on Hannity there? Oh no, he's shitting on Brian Lennis. Sorry, I misread that. Okay, so Ingraham then fuck me, I'm sorry, I'm reading this from shit. Ingraham then names another colleague who indicated that there was no fraud, with Hannity responding, "Guys, I've been telling him for 4 years. News department that breaks no news ever." Sorry, news department that breaks no news ever. In the subsequent Twitter message seconds later, Hannity says, "They hate all three of us." Ingram responds that she doesn't want to be liked by them. It's about the executives and colleagues. Jesus Christ. Ingram responds that she doesn't want to be liked by them. Carlson chimes in, they're pathetic. The conversation continues with Hannity bemoaning the damage that has been done to the brand. And in 1 week and one debate, they destroyed the brand that took 25 years to build, and the damage is incalculable. Do you know what? I just realised all three of them have a specific face they pull. Let's sell Hannity. Because Hannity's face is just kind of... When you see him on Fox News. Tucker obviously has the famous... But then Laura Ingram has a face. Like, Laura Ingram also is usually... You've got Carlson from Ingram. And, okay, I suppose I was reaching a little with Hannity, but it still always is... I think I'm reaching a little with Hannity. Hannity maybe just Carlson and Ingram, but they both have specific faces that in most of the clips, you see them pulling at least once. I think hers is worse almost. Okay, so they're all angry at the thing is, if it's Carlson being fired over all of this, right, then why not the others? Why is not Ingram's still there, right? I mean, Hannity's definitely still there. So why? I mean, this is interesting. So, because this is kind of a little problem with breaking news, in that the news is new, so no one really knows. But I'm not going to cover it in 3 weeks when we've got, like, you know, when everyone's forgotten about it, nobody cares anymore. Hey, so 4 weeks ago, Tucker Carlson was fired. Well, everyone confirmed that it actually, what the press was saying at the time, that it was for those comments. Fox News has said that is true. So, who gives a shit? You know. No, this one's from Owen Jones. I like Owen Jones. I think he's good at that. He's to the left of me a bit. I'm a liberal. But, why would he give you £15 a month? You know, yeah, I think he's a great guy. I like Owen Jones. Follow Owen Jones. He has a YouTube channel. He does a lot of videos. If you want anything about UK politics, from, you know, you're going to see it from a fairly lefty perspective, Owen Jones is great. You know, a good guy. I like him. So, it's difficult to begrudge anyone for celebrating the downfall of far-right provocateur Tucker Carlson. I'm not going to sit here just reading articles because it's fucking boring. Yeah, I think... sorry, I'm going to have to assume... So, anyway, basically, I think Owen Jones is saying, like... This is a very true statement. And, like, from... Unfortunately, like, yeah, it's true. That Carlson's out. Firstly, I don't think Carlson's out as a journalist. I think you're going to see Carlson pop up somewhere new, whether it's in an online space, whether it's on a new channel, and he's going to do very well. He has a huge following. It's enough to build on. It's not like he's been caught doing, you know, with his trousers down, fucking a hamster, right? You know, he's fired from Fox News. He'll go on to a million other things. Right. So, firstly, he's not gone. But second of all, a lot of the stuff, like the crazy kind of far-right talking points that you would hint at, you never go all out, but a lot of them were like literally borderline Stormfront stuff, but just made a little less. We're not hearing, you know, you can't directly hear what it's saying, but like, you know, great, you know, promoting great replacement stuff, you know, like, right, all of this, like, you know, a hardcore anti-immigrant. Fox News always anti-immigrant, but a lot of the, like, stuff, I mean, I think he's saying, hey, you know, he made the US, what to say, it made them poorer and dirtier. I mean, this is just...
I'm going to Tucker Carlson tonight. Here's a funny thing that we noticed the other day. People debate all the time about mass immigration. What you never hear anybody do is make the economic case for mass immigration. But
yeah, you do. That's the main case. Like, we make a case, don't be horrible to immigrants because they're humans, and why would you treat them horribly for no reason? You don't know them, right? But, like, the main reason why we say, well, no, immigration is really good, is not just because, well, we have diversity, which is good. Like, it's nice that, you know, you go around and see lots of different people and you can meet people from all over the world. But the main reason is, like, it brings gigantic benefits to the economy. Like, firstly, there are loads of jobs that people in first world countries won't do. And I realise I'm pause-handing a 4-second clip I wanted to show you, so I'm just going to stop.
As an economic matter, this is insane. It's indefensible, so nobody even tries to defend it. Instead, our leaders demand that you shut up and accept this. We have a moral obligation to admit the world's poor, they tell us, even if it makes our own country poorer and dirtier and more divided. Huddled masses yearning to breathe free? Nope. Cynical shakedown artists who've been watching too much CNN.
Tucker Carlson is
Jesus.
brought to you by
Yeah, this is it though. It's like Carlson is again pretty much moving. Yeah, Jesus Christ, say this woman. I'm going to get into an argument with her later. Yes. I think I shall. I do love Twitter. There's just so many nutcases and like horrible people, and you can argue with them. I get them really angry without feeling even the least bit of guilt. It's quite funny. Anyway, so yeah, unfortunately, this stuff that's being normalised, I don't know if you can lay it all on Carlson's feet. He is definitely responsible for amplifying a lot of this stuff, but it was because I think a lot more of it actually has to do with the internet and the way that the internet's been working, the way the internet amplifies a lot of stuff. And I mean, as someone who's been online, I realize I haven't been streaming for that long, but like as someone who's been online for years, I remember watching from the days of how the old edgy atheist movement went into the anti-feminist skeptic movement, went insane on Anita Sarkeesian, then Gamergate, then kind of started to like become then you got the anti like SJW movement, which became even more right wing, and then this started spreading, and then then anti-SJW, very right wing, started to become mainstream. It was when my dad started saying stuff that I realised it. It was when my dad goes, "Oh, he's such a SJW lefty social justice," and I was like, "Oh wait, hold on a minute." Hold on a minute. This is coming to the offline world now. And yeah, so I think a lot of it was stuff going on the internet becoming mainstream, more people spending a lot more time on the internet, the internet becoming, not just the younger people were doing, especially older people were having all the apps on the phone, looking at Twitter, looking at Facebook especially. So I don't know if we can entirely blame Carlson, but he definitely bears a lot of responsibility, and there were a lot of far-right talking points that Carlson amplified, and yeah, he absolutely does bear responsibility, but I'm not convinced that without Carlson, whilst I think individual claims may not have been amplified, I still think this rightward shift, unfortunately, will be happening, largely driven just by, I think, the way the internet and the way algorithms and the way things like this just work generally, in terms of just sending people constantly stuff that's going to make them angry or setting people against each other. I think this is more responsible, to be fair. But, yeah, I think this is kind of a bit, it's kind of a little wild seeing Tucker Carlson fired. Because he was like, you always thought of him as one of Fox News' biggest assets, even though you wished he wasn't. But, we know what kind of people run Fox News. So, it's not like, oh, why would those people have... No, he makes them a lot of money, so he was an asset to them. And now he's gone. I wonder what happened to Ingram and Hannity, who are also in those texts. But, yeah, I wish this was going to make Tucker Carlson reevaluate his life, or stop, or give up his career, or go, no, this is the end of me as a journalist, I must leave now. But unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be that lucky. I think we're looking at, Carlson cropping up probably all over the internet. We're probably going to see some podcasts. He's going to be even more unhinged. He can say even crazier stuff. And as we've seen, he'll know it's not true. He'll kind of hate that he has to say it, but he loves money, so he will just say it anyway. So even if it's so awful that even he feels terrible saying it, it's going to make him the cash. He's going to bloody say it. It gets in the audience. It gets in the... Unfortunately, this is how these things go. I was going to look into the Don Lemon thing, but I don't think anyone is really sure why, and so I can't be bothered. If more comes out and it turns out Don Lemon did something crazy, we're looking at Don Lemon. But yeah, Tucker Carlson fired. Probably not going to make that much difference, even really to his career. So, yay, Les Carlson for a bit. He's probably just going to be replaced. Things aren't going to get any better. He's probably just going to crop up again. So, but also,